Releasing in 1999, Chris Sawyer's classic management sim captured the imaginations of many a young theme park fan. This was not the first game to be given the Tycoon moniker, but it certainly was the one that put them on the map. Is this game heralded as a classic for a reason? Or has time taken its toll on this rickety old coaster? I'm Strat Tom, and this is the classic review of Rollercoaster Tycoon. The premise of Rollercoaster Tycoon, like many games of its era, is incredibly simple. You are given a new location, sometimes with a small park already in existence, sometimes an open expanse of land. It is your job to turn this area into a thriving and, more importantly, profitable theme park. Like the Tycoon part of the name might suggest, this game is all about the cash flow. Build up the ultimate thrilling experiences, take care of your park and your guests, and watch the money come in. The variety of parks available to you is fantastic. From parks consisting of vast lakes to rocky deserts, there's a real sense of variety from level to level. The deluxe version I purchased from Steam even included real-life parks here in the UK, such as Blackpool Pleasure Beach and Alton Towers. I'm not sure if you get different parks based on where you are in the world, but the ability to play the game using parks and rides I'd actually visited was pretty cool. There isn't too much else to say about Rollercoaster Tycoon's premise, and that is something of a failing of this game. The objectives of each level are pretty simple. You are given a set number of guests that you need to have consistently in your park, and a park rating that you must maintain by a certain point in time. Alternatively, on other levels, you have to have increased your park's value by a certain amount, again in a set time limit. Okay, so the dynamics of how you may achieve this are different in each park. Sometimes you have very limited space with which to work. Sometimes there are obstacles with the terrain that you must either overcome or incorporate into your park. However, ultimately, every objective that you are given is mostly the same from level to level. This is, in my opinion, where the game shows its age and lack of budget. Rollercoaster Tycoon is a wonderfully innovative game in so many regards, but its lack of variety when it comes to an actual objective is definitely a negative. In addition to this, I do find the time limits that have been imposed can be a bit irritating too. Sometimes you've achieved everything you need to achieve within, say, 2 years, but your objective is to do it within 3 years. So now you have to essentially wait a whole other in-game year to complete your objectives. It can be a bit tedious. Not to mention the incredibly frustrating times when you are just about to reach that time limit and some disaster befalls your park and your rating will nosedive off a cliff, leaving you having to start again from whenever you last saved. These problems are minor in the grand scheme of things though, and by and large I found Rollercoaster Tycoon just such a wonderfully simple yet fun game to play. In its gameplay, Rollercoaster Tycoon shines. The ability to create theme parks and roller coasters exactly as you want them was a dream come true for many. In planning the coasters that populate your park, you don't simply choose from pre-designed rides, though you can do that if you wish. However, most people will be building roller coasters from the ground up, piece by piece, track by track. The colours, the name, the size, the shapes, the overall themes and aesthetics, this is all up to you. In this modern era of games like The Sims, this may not be a huge deal. But in '99, it was revolutionary. In order to create popular coasters, you need to take a variety of factors into consideration. All of your guests will have individual tastes when it comes to how they like their rides, and you need to create a wide array of rides to cater for a wide array of people. If you create a coaster with too many insane drops or heavy G-force, then you'll score an incredibly high intensity rating, and only the super brave will dare venture onto your ride. And with good reason. A poorly designed coaster can be disastrous. A rickety wooden roller coaster with a sickening drop followed by a high-speed, tight turn can lead guests to losing more than their lunch. Accidents can happen in Rollercoaster Tycoon, and if there's one surefire way to make your number of guests and your park rating take a beating, then it is for you to go full on Final Destination 3. Of course, there are some true thrill seekers out there, and if you're building rides with the kiddie gloves on, then they will start to become bored. So, striking a balance between the gentle and the exhilarating is vital for a successful park. That being said, there's always the choice of being a complete sadist by saving your game and maybe deliberately removing key pieces of track or turning up the launch speed and seeing what happens. Not me though, obviously. I'd never do that. You bunch of sickos. Of course, there is more to a successful park than just rides. In Rollercoaster Tycoon, you must tend to all matters, like making sure your park looks the part. This can include all manner of decorations and plant life, but it can also mean ensuring the vomit doesn't pile up too high. That's where your park employees come in handy. You will need to hire people to fix your rides and clean your paths, empty the bins, mow the grass, entertain people in long queues, and stop vandals from wrecking your benches and other features. Little bastards, didn't your parents teach you any manners? By modern standards, the park management system in Rollercoaster Tycoon is, admittedly, a little simplistic. But, like with the coaster designs, this was innovative back in the 20th century, and I can't stress how much Rollercoaster Tycoon laid the groundwork for all other management sims to follow. Not just by the fact that they showed that there was a market for such games, but by showing how to do it well. It wasn't the first of its kind, but what Command & Conquer was to RTS wargames, what Doom was to first-person shooters, Rollercoaster Tycoon was to management games. A bold claim, yes, but one that is hard to argue against. I've always said that a good game can be made great with its presentation, and Rollercoaster Tycoon's presentation does exactly that. It absolutely oozes with charm and personality. The looks and designs of the rides are exquisite and can be customised further to suit your own preferred styles and themes. It's not just the way they look though, it's also the way they sound. When surveying your park, you can hear a myriad of wonderfully immersive sounds. The rattle of coasters on the tracks, the gleeful screams of the guests as they hurtle along the rails, the charming music of the merry-go-rounds, among so much more. For a game that came out over 20 years ago with old isometric designs and graphics, Rollercoaster Tycoon has so much life to it. These parks feel immersive and real, and it gives you a sense of ownership when you have poured hours into designing them. They're yours. Uniquely yours. And while we're on the parks themselves, I know I touched on this in the premise section, but the developers deserve a serious pat on the back when it comes to designing the parks. Yes, the objectives may be a bit samey, but the levels in which you play are incredibly diverse in both their look and their challenge. Ultimately, Rollercoaster Tycoon's excellent gameplay is supplemented with a bright, vibrant game world that is an absolute joy to explore. Rollercoaster Tycoon is undoubtedly a classic and is a game that has set the standard for many that followed. But just how good is it? Let's break this down. The premise, the pros, a simple yet addictive management sim. The cons, overly simplistic level objectives with little to no variety. The gameplay, pros, excellent ride and park design mechanics, and easy to learn gameplay with a difficulty curve that challenges without frustrating. The cons, the park management systems are basic when compared to modern games. The presentation, the pros, diverse and customizable designs and aesthetics, and wonderfully immersive use of sound. The cons, all the guests look the same. They could have done with some variety there. In 1999, Rollercoaster Tycoon was a must-have for any strategy-loving PC gamer. These days, with Rollercoaster Tycoon Deluxe, with all the expansion packs included, available for under £5, it still is a must-have. Sure, certain aspects of the game are showing their age, but the core addictive experience is still very much alive and well. If you've never played this game, do yourself a favour and pick this one up. If you played it back in the day and are wondering if it holds up well, then again, do yourself a favour and pick this one up. It's not perfect, but it is well made and addictive, and most importantly, it is so much fun. This is why I'm giving Rollercoaster Tycoon a 9 out of 10. Thank you so much for watching. What did you think of Rollercoaster Tycoon? Sound off in the comments below and tell me what should get the classic review treatment in future. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I'm Strat Tom, and I will see you next time.